Good morning, everyone. Kansas Sports HQ here, episode 90. Sean kind of hinted at it yesterday, the road to 90. I guess the fun thing we can do is kind of elaborate more about the road to 90. I mean, it has so many different meanings. I mean, it means something different to Sheldon. It means something different to Sean. I don't necessarily always participate in the road to 90, but I understand it from my own side of things. But good morning, and how are you guys?
Good morning.
Morning. Taco Moms.
Post-workout breakfast.
Sponsored by Taco.
Yeah, good. Yep.
What's good yet?
Well, usually I'm the one eating. I don't like being on the other side, watching somebody else eat something.
Bit of jealousy at the moment.
Give me the rest of that video.
I just reaches across it. So the road to 90 was built by Sean as
Brick by brick.
as I would assume more of just a fun phrase to say or to have in different adventures to things. So Sean, I'm going to turn it over to you about the road to 90. Start us from the beginning and what made you bring it up.
The road to 90, you say?
As you stare down Sheldon's burrito.
Yeah.
Almost gone.
Yeah, it's about a year ago.
I feel like it's been longer than that.
A little over a year ago, I guess, 2024, end of 2024. Yeah, I was in here every day, started going full time here, and me and Sheldon I got Sheldon to lift with me. Drug him out of his complacency, and he decided he wanted to get better, and so he started lifting with me, and I don't remember when we coined the phrase, but somewhere along the line, I think we were like, I always said road to 90 as in road to 90 miles an hour. And then I started posting like a separate Snapchat story titled The Road to 90. And so I just take videos of us lifting, whether if just we're just trying to move heavy weight, trying to get as much weight as we can, trying to do 200, 300 push-ups every day, going nuts, and I just say road to 90 every time. And then we just started saying it for everything. So every time we got on the lift, because right at the same time, we're putting insulation up in the ceiling, as we all remember so fondly. And so every time
Better times in life.
yeah, probably the best
good
time,
old days.
best time of my life. Just being up in the ceiling, not being able to screw a bracket into the metal with the drill, and then better than Gage though. And then so we're getting up on the lift, and then we just started saying road to 90 on the lift.
It's really just a lifestyle motto.
It's just,
really it's
honestly everything but actually throwing a baseball. But
it's kind of a bigger picture mentality.
Yeah.
Like
Could be.
not a one size fits type thing.
You want to
Like,
join
it's
the road
more
to
of a-
90?
Mhm.
Come on in.
It could be 90 days of
90 degree
something.
arm mobility.
It could be
90-degree squat.
I mean, when you
It's
think
just,
about it,
yeah.
90 is just really good no matter which way you want to, spin it.
90-degree body temp. Pretty good.
Not bad. 90
Might
mile
be-
an hour,
might be
obviously
dead, but-
good. It's 90 degrees outside. We ain't complaining.
90 in golf.
90 in golf.
Hey.
You break 90, you're happy.
That's what that might be my actual road to 90.
So,
right there.
90 is just kind of that. It's a good level. That 90 is a A in school, right?
Yeah,
you got,
yeah.
I mean, it's just enough.
And then 90 wins in baseball usually means
Playoff
playoffs.
baseball,
playoffs,
you
yeah.
know. 90% win percentage, usually pretty good. You're sitting pretty good right there.
Yeah.
Right.
And now we're at 90 episodes on the pod, which is kind of wild.
It's just milestone. It's a milestone number, no matter how you.
Yeah,
put
it's
it.
probably more important than 100
It is.
in a way, because it comes before 100.
Yeah.
And anything that comes before 100 means that it's not after 100.
And it's leading you to it. So
It's leading you to the quote unquote bigger milestone. But sometimes,
if you don't have 90, how do you get there?
How do you get there?
It's not possible.
It's not possible. Like if
I
you
think it's
take
just more
away 90
realistic. It's more realistic at 90 than it is 100 and for
Well,
you know,
and
in something.
when you think about it too, if you have 100 numbers and you say you're at 100, but if you take 90 out of that, you're only at 99
Right.
because you lose a number.
Exactly.
So
One's gone.
yeah, one's gone.
So
So
you can't
90
have a
is-
full picture that way.
So what we're saying basically is 90 is the most important number in the alphabet.
So road to 90. Gotta have it.
But yeah, that's a road to 90.
That's basically our
Maybe-
new. It's gonna be a brand thing. Where obviously we have the rights to it, and all that type of stuff.
Oh, I remember why we started saying it.
There we go.
I think it was Truett.
Oh yeah, Truett was a co-contributor, is what we will call it.
I think that's why.
Is that after his Tommy John?
Oh yeah, because he was chasing down getting a 90 or whatever. He got like, I don't know. He was at Tread, and all those places are
very one-dimensional.
Yeah, the velo chasing. So I think that's where it kind of started. Actually, now that I think about it, is where we were just doing anything other than baseball and calling it road to 90.
Yeah, because he thought he was, as long as he got up to 90, it was just like a surefire thing that he's a Division I pitcher, and
Road to 90.
he's definitely getting drafted now, and all
Yeah,
of these
pretty sure.
things. And then it was, oh wait, now my arm's broke, and now I'm at a JUCO. Like, okay, dude, again, nothing wrong with that, but
Shouldn't have
was
taken
just-
that gap year.
he's just doing these kids in this day and
IMG?
age. Just,
Which
Yeah.
is apparently involved with a cartel.
yeah, Chris,
Way to go, Chris.
for a stand-up guy, he is.
Allegedly involved with a
He's-
cartel. I should say.
you know, there
Before
is
I
some
start
allegations out there
slinging.
One of our coaches
Accu-
might be a cartel member. I don't know. It was just national news. We're not sure. But he's still here. He's alive with us. We'll see if they, come after him. But
as far as we know.
Yeah. So yeah, road to 90.
Road to 90, yeah. What's interesting, kind of a little change of topics here,
Well, that's fine.
but I told my lesson last night. I was like, you might have gave me a rant to go on the pod tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm excited.
So we'll see if it ends up being a rant or not.
I'm ready to
but
rant.
I'm gonna. So obviously we've touched on the club baseball issues, and the club or travel or whatever you want to call it. It's not really travel ball; it's just club ball. Independent clubs independent clubs are usually the good ones, but these separate entities from schools and all that, and obviously the money grab that it can be.
Raising Canes.
Yeah, the Canes. So
Have you seen them? Just side note before we get serious. Have you seen those videos of that guy that goes up to all
Yeah.
the Canes games and he's like, this is the fundraising team, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, dude, we're the best team in Pennsylvania. And he's like,
yeah,
but like this is Pennsylvania. Like,
Is he
you
the
guys
sa- is he the
you get
same
run
guy?
rolled in Florida, and he's just like,
is he the same guy that goes to those showcases? It goes up to the random dads and coaches,
and he
he's
acts
just
like he's a scout.
Yes, I just don't think your kid really has it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
It's
kind of
so funny.
that's-
He's like, "Are you the one like giving him lessons?"
Yeah,
and
that's-
he's like, "Yeah, you should probably stop that."
yeah. You should-
Yeah,
It's
funny.
hilarious.
Could you imagine doing that here?
So funny.
I mean, I can't.
He has
You-
like
I can imagine.
It would be.
I could imagine.
he's got a clipboard and he is like, "What's your son's name?" Oh yeah, no, he's.
we
yeah,
could
yeah.
make you a
It's
cut.
on
We
radar.
could make you a custom hat that you just roll in and you're just sunglassed up.
Yeah, I'm
Just-
like, go up and be like, hey, so who's giving your kid lessons? They're like, Sean Keller. I was like, well, that backfired. We'll walk away. Oh, hey.
hey,
How's it
takes the
going?
glasses off and you're like,
So I was.
that was your like superhero moment. You hide,
Yeah.
you know. Oh
Well,
goodness.
anyway, so this kid, he plays for an organization in town.
You know the name of this organization,
Yeah.
but it's just we're going to refer to it
It's
as the
fine.
organization.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter
Okay.
because I think they all will probably. They all probably do roughly the same thing for the most part, and it's not a huge deal here. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about this, where this is where I think club ball can fall short. As far as development goes, one of the ways it does. So I have a kid I do lessons with. He comes to me quite a bit. He does hitting, and a few months ago he started to do pitching. So just kind of working on I mean, he's 13 now, it's 13, 14, something like that. So eighth grader. Um, and he was pitching. It's not like he's, you know, the next Nolan Ryan or anything, but like he's throwing strikes, and
Sure.
I showed him how to throw a change up, and it was working all right, and definitely not bad at all, not bad at all. Like there could be something there for sure, but that's the way I see baseball players, right? I don't see them for what they are right now. I see what they can be.
Potential can be, yeah.
Because I've seen how far he came as a hitter, when he first started to where he is now, right? And he was my last lesson of the night last night, and I was doing a pitching lesson with one. I was looking down there. He's like throwing plyo balls, just kind of messing around, waiting for me to get done with the lesson. I go down there. I was like, "Hey, so we throwing today?" And he's like, "No, no, I quit pitching." I was like, "Oh, you quit it?" He's like, "Well, my coach told me I need to quit pitching." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, he just says he doesn't want me pitching anymore." I was like, "Oh, okay." And now I don't know the whole story. Obviously, this come from a kid, but then I was like, "How many players do you have on your team?" Like 13. I was like, "I have 13 players on my team. I don't care if they're 14U, 15U, 16U. I will take all the pitchers I can get."
Every team will.
Right. And if you can throw that ball over the plate, I don't really care. As long as you can do that. And I was like, and this is what So, I when back in Iowa, I coached junior high baseball because, our schools were all like connected. And club ball is not a big thing in Iowa. And so people see the club ball, they're like, "Oh, organization, cool uniforms, fancy, like not fancy, but facilities, new equipment, big tournaments, go play in these things." And it's just so short-sighted. That's the biggest issue. Like when I'm working with these junior high kids, and now granted, I also at the time coached the high school, but I wouldn't even if I didn't coach the high school, I'm still thinking if I'm working with junior high kids who are all gonna be playing together in high school, I'm going to try and develop as many pitchers as I can so I don't send them off to high school in those 2 years and there's only two viable arms in there to join the high school team. And these club teams who are like, well, we got two good pitchers and maybe two other ones that we might use because look, and it's just so short sighted and lack of development because you're like, and I get it, you don't always have the most practice time, so you can't get everybody bullpens, but you should be able to figure it out. And sometimes especially when they're not even in high school yet, like why not try more arms and see if something works? Because you never know. A kid who's never pitched before could get up there and just pump strikes and get ground balls and pop ups and miss barrels and that's all it takes. And then from there they could be that maybe their career changes. But you being so short sighted and saying, yeah, we just don't really have like time for you to get into bullpen, so don't worry about pitching anymore. Whether that's how it actually went or not, that kind of pisses me off because it's just like I know I'm biased because it's the kid I've been working with and stuff, but it bothers me how like they're just thinking about this season and now when these kids are 13 they got at least probably another 4 or 5 years of baseball ahead of them. And you can, who knows, like maybe they become a great pitcher down the road. You don't know that, so why are you shutting them down and not even trying to use them? Like if a kid wants to pitch, unless he literally cannot get anywhere close to the zone, then I will not let him pitch. But like, if he wants to pitch, I'm gonna let him try. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, they're about to go into high school. Why not try to think about somebody else's team for a change and the kid's development for a change and be like, let's get him on the mound, see what he has, and then see if he, hey, maybe go and get some outside lessons to put more work in and keep moving forward there and do some work yourself and give the kid some keys and the accountability to go do it himself, even if you don't have a ton of time to get him on the mound. But it just the short-sightedness just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just, oh, let's just worry about this season. And then you're gonna get to a tournament when you're running out of arms and you're like, oh, now you can go pitch.
Yeah, when they're underprepared, not ready.
Now you can go pitch. We're
And then
on
when
our
they-
fifth game of the tournament. Everybody's arms toast now because I burned through everybody's arms already halfway through the season. Hey, now go pitch. and then that's how it goes. It's just
So, did your athlete seem defeated when he told you that?
yeah. He seemed a little like I mean his
Demeanor?
personality isn't necessarily up and down like that. Um, but yeah, I mean he's like, oh yeah, the coach just never has me pitch in practice, and he just
Well,
moved on, and I'm like, well, sounds about right. I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't like.
It just doesn't make any like, even through high school, like, I guess my philosophy behind positional stuff like this is, why would you not want to be versatile? Number 1. Number 2, with the way that the game is changing so much now, like, two-way guys are probably the most sought after commodity in college baseball. I think that they obviously want starting pitchers and they want guys that, they can build a rotation around. Sure. They obviously want POs as well,
But
but
they need people to fill
they want guys
eat innings.
because they need those dudes to be able to. Now, it doesn't make it easy, no, but as a junior high kid going into high school, if you even can remotely get on the mound and you are willing to go through some time to figure some of the mechanical base out, you definitely should, because there might be a coach out there that sees you and goes, "Ooh, I could do this with this. Like, let me figure this out with you, and then you can all of a sudden have this spot when it comes to this high school team or college team or whatever." And if you're a youth coach out there going, no, this is a lot of work, it's like, then don't coach. Like,
Yeah,
that's the difference is you're basically the short sightedness that you're talking about is really what I define laziness as. Of these people that see them, they don't want to do the work that it might take for them to get a little bit better and be able to actually, kind of do things. But why do they do that? Well, my opinion is that they look at that kid and go, he's not going to help us win games on the mound. Well, like, him on the mound is a liability, and that's going to be a problem for us. When my outlook on that is, okay, well, let's put some of our less developed guys on the mound so they can develop more. And guess what? Like, our defense is probably going to get a little bit better because there's going to be some balls in play. We ain't going to, hopefully just walk all these dudes, right? Like,
yeah,
so, I mean, it just depends on how you're trying to go about coaching your team. Do we care about winning? Yeah, we always care about winning, but do we care about giving our guys opportunity and having ways that they can find ways to better themselves from a skill set? I mean, that's got to be the piece. And you can find the right games to schedule the guys to do the stuff that you need to do. Like, that's part of being the coach. Like, that's part of the scheduling aspect and like all the other pieces. Like, non-league or whatever you wanna call it, like, I don't know what they
get him
call
at
it in youth ball, but
a
scrimmage
a
stuff,
pool play
pool
game.
play game, yeah, like, find ways to utilize it in that aspect, and then every team's got their best 9, right? Like, every team has their starting rotation, or they should. They probably don't, but they should. And when it comes to a game that you gotta win, okay, like, I get it, but, it's just, it's a different in philosophy, I think, at the end of the day, and I don't know why. For the life of me, I can't figure out why they care about those things like they do. Like, it's just, I'll never figure that out. And because it really just doesn't equate in my brain. But, you know, whatever this kid is and whoever it is, I'm sure there's plenty of athletes out there that get into it. And I think it also happens on just the positional side too. Where like, nah, dude, we got to move you over here. We got to try this out, do this instead because you're not going to be able to play this, right? Sure, and maybe for that team in that short time frame, like, that's something that you do, but it doesn't mean that your 11-year-old season should define your career. Like, that just doesn't make any type of mathematical sense for athletes to think that. Like, "Oh, well, my 11-year-old coach who's a, banker has told me that I need to go play right field because I can't play third base." Why? Like, like for what? Like, because you need more work at third base and he doesn't want to take the time to actually, work on it and do it. And I'm not saying every coach is that way.
yeah,
That's a very common thing that I think you run into, especially with youth games, is it's more work to try and get everybody going in comparison to just, hey, go over here where it's easier for you, and then we'll put somebody here who's better than you.
Yeah,
And that's the Band-Aid
pick up a
fix.
guest player.
So-
get a team, get a kid transferring over from another
right.
team. You know,
Does this said organization have like tryouts?
yeah.
So they picked this kid up for a reason, and then he said he wanted to pitch, or
They asked him to pitch. Is what I gathered from it.
okay,
And he
and
started doing it more with me, and then all of a sudden now it's now it's no. Which
So-
when he pitches with me, I mean he's for the most part right around the zone. So.
sure. So I guess my question on some of that is most of these organizations that are around and doing this club ball stuff, they have like their A, AA, AAA team, la da 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 da, and saying that we're going to go play a AAA tournament and stuff like that. And for me, I feel like we've lost the developmental side of helping these kids grow in the sport. I mean, you're 13 or 14, you haven't even hit puberty yet, and who knows what's next.
I'm still going through.
Give everyone an opportunity.
I mean, I played every position. I played all the outfield spots, all the infield spots. I pitched. The only thing that I didn't do was catch, and I don't think I played first base ever
I was a catcher for a long time.
that I remember.
That was my
anyway.
main position.
They may
for a
have
long
threw me
time.
over there a couple times here and there, but like I did everything else,
Yeah.
and I didn't care. Like
No,
whatever.
You're on
like,
a baseball field,
yeah,
man.
like just throw me out there and let me just see what happens. And don't get me wrong, I screwed every single one of them up at some point. Like, and eventually ended up like narrowing down the positions that I enjoyed the most, and that's what I wanted to play, and that's what I worked the most at. And like that's the focus. That should be kind of the trajectory plan. But I pitched all the way into high school, and I just knew that going into
Road to
high
90.
school, like, I just knew that I was not going to be a pitcher in high school. Like I was, like there was times that they threw me in there in high school. I pitched through high school all the way to my senior year, but I got put on the bump. I could throw strikes. I wasn't up there to get anybody out. I was up there to just, hey, hit this, and hopefully you hit it to my guy. Like that was it. Like, and it just, so overcomplicating it is
Almost like that's
part
all
of the
that pitching
problem.
is.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like throw strikes and just do what you can do up there. Like,
Yeah. So I mentioned to the kid, I was like, it's crazy to me that that's even a scenario where you're turning kids. Like, if you just crap your pants every time you're on the mound and you're just throwing it all over the place, sure. Like, I understand. Hey, pitching's not right for you at this time. Like,
sure.
but in my mind, I'm like, how many bullpens did you actually let this kid throw? Or
Right.
because I've done it 4 or 5 anyway. But I told this kid, I was like, I was on a college team with 40 guys, and we still didn't have a full bullpen. Like we had our 4, our game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4, and maybe a midweek starter. So we had 5 or 6 starters basically, and then we maybe had like on the weekend at least 3 guys that we trusted out of the bullpen. That's with 40 dudes on the team who've been playing baseball their whole lives, or about half the team's pitchers, and it's like in the structure of club ball, you have, as far as I can understand it, you have these 13U, 14U, 15U, 16U, 12U, 11U, 10U, whatever. And if it's like a big club, right, you're getting, this is why these coaches either get short-sighted, as I say, or lazy, as you say, because they are, if they stay at an age, right, if they stay at an age in that club, because they're maybe my age, they don't have a kid involved, or maybe they're older and they're just helping out, whatever it might be. They're getting a little extra cash to put in, way too much time for what they're paying. But it's another thing, which doesn't motivate them to do anything better. But
It's the hard part.
so you don't have like a core of guys that you're growing with more than 2 years in a 12U, 13U, 14U, 50, whatever it is. Unless you have like a kid on that team and you're moving up with him, but then you're probably still just like an assistant coach. So like the head coaches pretty much have their age of kids and then they're gone in like 2 years. So they're just thinking about, what can you do for me now? So that's this structure of this club team where you're not feeding them to one place. Like when I'm coaching a junior high team, like I said, I'm like, I'm thinking down the road for these kids. A lot of these kids, so, when we go to junior high ball and we have 6th graders play up because a lot of times we let the 6th graders play up the 7th and 8th grade games because we don't have a lot of kids go out.
Anymore. Yeah.
So we got 6th graders who weigh maybe 45 pounds soaking wet trying to throw a ball 60 feet from a mound for the first time.
They got to weigh more than 45
I'm
pounds.
kidding. I'm
I was gonna
exaggerating.
say.
Maybe they weigh 90.
Banks weighs 45 pounds.
I know. I was exaggerating. But
Sorry.
we did have some really tiny kids who
Hey, road to 90.
Banks was probably almost as big as, but and here they are. They're just doing their best trying to chuck it 60 feet, man. And I'm like, with my mindset with those kids, it's just like one inning at a time. If you do well, I'm sending you back out there for another inning. If you struggle, I'm gonna let you crash and burn a little bit out there and feel it. Give up 5 because we had a 5-run rule most of the time, or maybe a 4-run rule sometimes. So if you end up hitting guys, walking guys in, maybe give up a hit here and there, I'm just like, I'll go out there, I'll talk to you, but I'm gonna let you kind of crash and burn, and that's fine because you got to learn that
Life
And
experience.
if this is still what you want to do and keep working on, great. Let's keep working on it. If you need to take a break for a while from pitching, you don't want to do this for a while, or maybe wait a year till you get bigger and stronger to throw a little bit farther, fine. But that's the thing. My assistant coach, throw strikes. I'm like, dude, chill out, man. They're like, they just got done this spring throwing from 45 feet. Now they're throwing from 60. Like, calm down. And even the 7th graders, because maybe some of the 7th graders didn't play up the year before, so it's the same kind of thing. And they're just small kids, just trying to huck that ball over there. But I mean, I still had kids, just grenade launching it from the mound.
Oh yeah.
Just
Shot puts.
nice lot. And I'm, a lot of times when we're at home games, one of my high school players was the umpire. I was like, hey, bigger zone, man, bigger zone. Shoulder to toes. It was a lot of fun. But like, I'm like working with these kids because I know that down the road, they're going to be in the same boat I was heading into high school, and I want them to be as prepared as possible. And probably the best compliment I got, and I'm not trying to I'm kind of tooting my own horn here. I'm not like trying to flex big time or anything, but I'm just like the best compliment I got, because obviously I moved down here and I moved away. And the guy who coached me in high school and I coached with eventually, he was the head coach and I was the assistant coach in high school. He mentioned to me, because his last year of coaching was, I think, 2 years ago or 2 summers ago was his final year, and he had been coaching for 20 some years between like 2 or 3 schools. And I, congratulated him because he got to like 100 wins at Colonesco and stuff, and it was his last year, and he was just like, hey, he's like, thanks for your coaching. He's like, I can tell like the kids who came up or freshmen and sophomores who I coached in junior high, he's like, I can tell they were coached by you, because the way they were a lot more prepared coming in to high school. He's like, I can tell they had your like imprint on them. And that was probably the best compliment, I could get, just because that's why you coach, right? You want them to be prepared for that. When you hand them off to the next, if you're a high school coach, you should want them as prepared as possible to send them off to college. If you're a 12U coach, you should want them prepared enough to send off to 13U and 14U. We got the 7U curve in here last night. They're obviously a bunch of dads and they do a great job down there. Those kids are crazy, but they do a great job working with those kids. And, they are like fundamental. And anytime those kids like screw around or mess 15 jumping jacks, they're instilling in them right now at a young age. It's like, this is what it takes. This is what we need to do. We're going to prepare you to go to 8U or a kid pitch or in this and that, and they're just teaching them how to throw and field and proper footwork right now. But those are just those little things that I think so many coaches just overlook. And that's the same thing you should start off every year with every age.
Mm-hmm.
It's footwork, how to throw, like all that stuff, because you skip all that stuff at the beginning of the year when you're a 13, 14U, 15U, 16U head coach. And then all of a sudden you see all these kids with these bad habits throwing as hard as they can day 2 of practice and stuff. I mean, it's just not, the development is just out the window, and it drives me crazy when I hear stuff like this. And now the kid wants to change teams, but that's
what happens.
That's what happens.
Exactly.
Because you get burnt out because you're not getting paid very much to put a lot of time in. Things aren't going your way. parents are getting mad at you. You get burnt out as a coach. Then you're making maybe more short-sighted decisions to win more. So you don't have the parents breathing down your back, you know. So it definitely goes both ways. I'm not like,
Yeah.
I understand the coaches are in a tough spot a lot too. And I know the kid's dad. I know the kid's dad's not breathing down his back.
Yeah.
Like but it's like the coaches. There's definitely a struggle on the coaches' side too to make it all work. But in this structure, I think everybody fails.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. Is like I think everybody really it can go downhill very fast in that structure where nobody wins, and that's why you see all these kids and parents hopping from club to club to club to club, and then these coaches leaving after a year of coaching or 2 years of coaches because they can't handle it anymore, because it's not like that's why like those independent clubs are really, for the most part, really good, because they're growing with the same core of guys. You might lose 2 or 3 guys every year because look, a parent relationship's not working out. All right, you got to go, or a kid, you aged out of another kid's range, or a kid aged out of your whatever it might be, like, and then they stay back another year for a different club and they go another way. Like, but if you keep the same core, like 5 to 7 guys together, and grow with them, and then send them off to like high school eventually, and then still do club ball with them, like that's going to be big time for their development. But you put it under the umbrella of the same club, and they're all grown, and for the most part, you'll still keep the same nucleus together, which is good. But different coaching staffs, different philosophies that are getting put on them. It's just it stinks, because I just don't think it breeds success all around. And I'm not saying I know the perfect way to do it, but
Yeah.
you can see a lot of ways that fails the kids.
There's clubs out there that do a
Heck of a job.
good job, yes. But I also think that things can be done differently based off of what your ultimate goals are and what you're trying to, establish in the culture and those kind of. And you're right. I think there's fault on both sides at the end of the day. And I don't know. I think there's a direct correlation. Like when I remember youth baseball for myself, like coming up and playing with different teams, but the core of our teams were always kind of the same. Like we changed names a couple times just because, but it wasn't like a like bad blood thing. Like we just wanted to change our team name, and do something different, get some new gear, whatever. But we always had like a core nucleus of 9 of us, like, and I don't think that there's any kind of weird thing to understand, like why all of us played college baseball. Like,
Oh yeah.
like I think there is a pretty solid correlation behind the fact that we all stayed together. We worked through the adversity. We weren't always the best team, but like the core of our team, just thinking in my head right now, like every single one of us went on to play college ball. Some guys only went to 2-year schools, and things like that, but still went on to play college ball. And you don't see that in most organizations anymore. Now, you'll see some that kids go to college, which is great, but how many of them actually play and participate and like do the stuff, that's a whole different, category, and what your conversation is based off of their development and what type of player they are and how they're able to produce and that type of stuff. And part of that falls on the player, obviously, as you get older and in high school and looking into college. Like, it can't always be anybody else. Like you gotta, look yourself in the mirror and determine, what you're going to be. And then you got to be able to focus in on that and like, put everything towards it. But there is outside factors that play a role in how you're going to be seen, what your opportunities are going to look like. Like there is pieces to that. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And, so I mean, it's just the right situation with the right people. I think that parents out there, if anybody is a parent that's listening, like that should be probably your number one thing. Like for the life of me, quit worrying about winning and losing. Like please just try to find the right coaching staffs that actually want to help the kids develop. And when they see some sort of a struggle and they see something that doesn't make sense, it's not a, hey, you can never do this again approach. It's a, hey, why don't we try this, see how it works, and then we'll come back to this. Or how about we try this and see how it works, and then we come back to it, right? Like, let's let's find ways to develop confidence in you on the field one way or another. And then we can see how it works and we can see where to put you and see what you want to do. And then you get the opportunity to put the work in to be able to do it. Not oh, this is a hard stop. We're never doing this again. Go over there, right? Like you're a bench guy now. Like go sit in the bullpen and we'll call you never. Like that approach just isn't gonna it's not gonna get you anywhere. Like it's just because the kids are gonna hate it. They're gonna hate you. Like they're gonna hate the game, hate you. Like everything about it is not gonna be there. And you're then at that point in time, I don't think you're coaching, right? Like I don't think you're actually developing or doing anything like that. I
You've
think you're
taken the
just
role of managing.
yeah, you're now, you're treating it like it's like you're just putting it on a piece of paper and this is what it is.
There's a reason why in the MLB they're called managers and not coaches.
Right.
So like, you have your third base coach, your first base coach, your bench coach, and then your bullpen coach or whatever.
Outfield, infield.
And those first base coach, this first base coach is like they're the instructors. They're the instructors. Third base coach, they're the instructors. Bench coach, they're usually kind of a veteran presence to be, help the manager manage the game. And the manager is called the manager because he's not necessarily hands-on coaching as much. He might, but his job is to write the lineup and manage the game every day. Handling the instruction side of things are those first base coach, third base coach, so on and so forth, catching coach, bullpen guy. And these youth coaches are not managers. They are coaches. So their role is to still, yes, they still got to make the lineup and it's a wider range of responsibility, but, and there's not as many people to delegate other things to because you usually only have
a volunteer,
one assistant who's paid and then maybe another volunteer or two, which, like the club team I work with a lot, they have a pretty good group of dads, you got the head coach, but he's got, 3 dads helping him out and they're all, really invested in helping.
Pretty on the same
kids.
page.
Yeah. Really invested in helping out the same kids and all kind of have the same vision for these kids just to be getting a little bit better every day. Obviously they all want to win. I understand that. I want them all to win too. I love all my kids to win, but it's just like, it's not the most important thing ever. It's not. It is, how can we use this tool that we were blessed with, this game that we were blessed with to mold and shape us to be better young men and for the rest of our lives? And then how can we use that tool to better, pass it on to the next people? The phrase is pay it forward, right? That's what we do as coaches. We pay, whether we were coached really well by some coaches, coached not so well by other coaches, we want to pay it forward and make it better for the next generation of athletes we're working with. And I think if you lose sight of that and you let the chasing trophies or chasing wins cloud that and mess that up, where we're leaving a couple kids on the team behind because, well, this is our 9 guys and we're rolling with it. I understand. Like, I get it. You want to win, but you should be caring as much about the 13th best player on the team as you are on the first best player on the team. And I know it can be challenging sometimes depending on attitudes, but that's where, like, I think real good coaches separate themselves as how they interact. Like, if you're a parent, really pay attention to how they interact with the best player on the team and how they interact with the worst player on the team, and see the kind of time that's put in and how they respond to the failures of those players, and then kind of make your judgment there on what kind of coach they are.
Yep. Yeah. I think that hits it on the head, but I also think that families in general, you just got to be plugged in for the right reasons. It's the easiest way I can explain it. Like, just think about the long term. like not about always the short term, and don't get so emotionally like attached to that season and get so emotionally attached to this game, that game, this game, that game. Like that's what I hear all the
In the
time.
grand scheme of things,
It don't matter.
who
Like,
cares?
yeah, nobody cares. Like, and you said a good thing earlier. Like, winning and losing. Like, ultimately, I personally, and I think that when you sit back and look at it, like, you learn so much more through losing and failure and figuring out ways to find your way back into winning, right? Like you learn so much more on that side, like so much more. And if you lose perspective of that, you're just in for a long, long life of just disappointment, really, at the end of the day. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's not fun. Like, losing sucks. Everybody hates to lose, right? Failing sucks. Everybody hates to fail. But the reality of it is if you have the mental fortitude and you have the, what I would call, I guess, I don't know, like just being in the moment, right? Like being there right then and really can kind of take a step back and then just be able to kind of flush that away. Like, okay, this happened. It is what it is. How do I get better from it? Right? Your life is going to be 100 times better because when you're an adult, you're going to deal with something like that every single day. Like there's going to be things all the time throughout your work week and then into, I mean, it's just going to be a compounding effect. And if you let every little thing get under your skin, like you're going to fall off the face of the earth because it happens. Like, dude, you have to be more mature than that. Like, that's what I was looking for. You got to have the maturity to look at the situation and just go, you know what? I can control what I can control, do better on my next opportunity, and be able to give it full effort, everything that I can do, and go from there. That's why they say the game is a game of failure, and how you're going to respond to that failure is going to determine how successful you're going to be. And that obviously goes across, I think, all sports, but also just life in general.
In
Yeah.
the words of Deadpool, maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
I didn't know Deadpool said that.
You would rather lose now. Like
Yeah.
if when you're
absolutely.
and trust me, like you would rather your kids be losing more games when they're younger. Because if you win every single dang game now, they're going to get to high school, and their high school team's going to start losing games if they're on JV or if they're on varsity, and they're going to start losing games there, and they're going to be like, I'm too good for this team. I don't want to be a part of this team anymore. My club team wins tournaments. Then you lose the whole thing.
Neat. That's my response. Neat.
It's like the high school team. It's like it's kind of the first time any kid starts playing for the name on the front of the chest as opposed to the name on the back,
Yep.
right? In club ball, yes, you have a name on the front of the jersey, and you have an organization you're a part of, or you're an independent league, but you're still kind of playing you're still playing because it can change a lot. You're playing for the name on the back of the jersey. High school is like the first time you gotta. That I agree with everything a high school does, but you're still coming together.
You at least hope that it
you're
is,
still
but it's
coming together.
usually-
You're playing for that.
Yeah.
That name on the front, and chasing
Until the high school transfer portal,
and then it opens up.
I mean, the high school draft. I'm still working on the format for that.
It's not it's the middle school draft.
Oh,
we're looking at
yeah.
eighth graders.
Into
Yeah,
okay.
we're looking at eighth graders.
Okay,
The next wave.
Let me
the
readjust my
the
format.
transfer portal in the high school, that, yes, we can still build that one out.
Gosh, it's trust me. There's obviously club teams and club coaches who do the right thing and have, like, once again, when we go over topics like this, it's not just hope that it's just advice we're giving out from our perspectives. We're around a lot of in the last few years, a lot of different club teams who come in here and coach games. I work with a bunch of kids, so I hear a lot of stuff. I didn't grow up around the club scene for baseball. And then obviously you guys have your own journeys and your own perspectives, and we're just weighing in on it because we, for whatever reason, have a platform to talk about.
I'm too old for the club team monopoly.
Yeah. Sheldon, you said you weren't a part of that.
There's
either.
a few, very few. Everybody hated them. I mean,
Like
so
the Augusta Cubs, were they still around?
Butler County Cubs, but they weren't like a club. You know what I mean? Like Sluggers was the club team that was around here that had like a team at every age division. They had multiple teams at the age divisions. Like they were the first like organizational type thing like that. And then, other teams would have like Butler County Cubs had like 3 or 4 teams across, but those 3 or 4 teams all stayed together the entire like
Right.
time, like they didn't do the same format. It was just hey, I got 2 kids, one's 13 and one's 9, and I'm going to have their teams both be the same names. And then his dad's friend was like, well, yeah, I do too. We're going to do these 2. And then we'll just call them all the Cubs so we can order uniforms together. That was kind of that, in comparison to like Sluggers with the indoor facility and like,
none of that was around when.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong. They had some good teams. Like there was definitely a competition factor that was built into that. But, those were the teams that, kind of started that whole, trajectory, and I still hate them today. So, whatever. So that hasn't changed.
Now private equity firms are buying up these club teams.
Right. Yeah. So
that's crazy.
So
hey, you want to run it back with the Angels anytime, brother? I'll call all of us out there. We're fine.
Sounds like a team that's new.
Or the Red Sox. I was on the Red Sox. I don't like the Red Sox, but that team was awesome.
Sounds like a team that we have been speaking with. The old Wingnuts guys coming back together, called the Goodfellas.
Oh, yeah.
Get your boys together.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
You think you could hit 90?
Yeah. Without a doubt.
That's cool.
I can't.
Sean, I'm proud of you for not. That really wasn't a rant. That was actually super informative. Like you broke it all down and stuff like that. Your rants are different than the typical conversation.
Sure.
If there was nuts in your brownie,
I don't like that.
It'd be a bad deal.
I would.
So, but that was awesome.
Don't put nuts in brownies, guys, or any sort of sweet
banana
food.
bread.
Just stop it. Everybody under the drives me crazy.
See difference in voice on that side of it. So yeah. Well, so the
I'm
road.
just getting angry.
So the road to 90. 90th episode, pretty cool to think about. I have no idea where our metrics are or anything like that, but 10 away from a Hyundai. Maybe we'll review those then, and all of that good stuff. But I think
anybody wants to give us each a crisp $100 bill for making it to 100 episodes, just go ahead, mail it in, or come in person and give it to us. Just as like a present gift, just a nice crisp $100 bill, like a real one, not counterfeit. If you want to, it's up to you.
Yep.
Donate to the coffee fund.
Yeah, donate to our Casey's Pizza and coffee fund. Be nice.
All those good things. Well, Sean, can you lead us in prayer?
Sure. Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for bringing us together to talk about, just stuff we're passionate about, Lord. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to be on here and have a platform to talk about it and get our, opinions out there, which, some will fall flat, some will hopefully be, good advice, especially the nuts and the brownies one. But Lord, I just pray that coaches are always, they get worn down and beaten down, Lord, but I just pray that they're always selfless. And then they're always teaching how we can bounce back from failure, not trying to avoid failure altogether, Lord. And Lord, thank you for allowing us to fail, keeping us humble, even though we might not like it pretty much any time we get humbled, but continue to humble us, Lord, so we remember who is God, who's the creator, who's the sovereign Lord of all, and what we are and what our place is on this earth, Lord, as the creation. And as followers, you need to honor and glorify you in all we do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Well, that's it for episode 90, the road to 90. Good luck to all the athletes out there doing the tryouts for spring sports and making way for a competitive spring season. We'll see you guys next time.